Evening, everybody. Call to order at Chisholm City Council meeting, May 14th, 2025. Susan, would you please take roll call?
Yes. Councilor Halaba? Absent. Councilor Fountain? Here. Councilor Hockey?
Here.
Councilor Varda?
Present.
Councilor Halverson?
Present.
Mayor Lake?
Here. Hey, Council, I'll look for a motion to adopt the agenda.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Travis. Thank you, April. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Pledge allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have some public participation this evening, so we'll start. We have Siri Falcone, if you would. Just come up to the podium. I just let you know that we have 5 minutes to talk, and then.
Did you guys want a copy of what I wrote up, or?
If you have, you might as well.
Yes.
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you. Ready?
Good evening.
Okay. Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. Thank you for the opportunity to speak this evening. My purpose for speaking is not to oppose the idea of a garden, but rather to raise the thoughtful concerns about the proposed location and to encourage further exploration of potential alternatives. For my family and I, our home is our sanctuary. The quiet, the privacy, and sense of safety was what attracted us to buying our home 5 years ago. We have 2 small children. Turning the space in front of our home into a public gathering space would dramatically change this. Some of the concerns we have: privacy concerns. The ideas of strangers lurking around all hours of the day makes me very uncomfortable. It is one thing to drive by, as obviously there is a road in front of our house, but to be stopped and parked for long periods all hours of the day is not a feeling of safety, as once again this is a residential area. It is one thing to have neighbors. You make friends and you feel safe. But again, the people who are going to be in front of our home will be strangers. We chose this area for the reasons stated above. The 3 summer months we get out of the year to enjoy our yard quietly and feel comfortable is something we value deeply as a family. This, we feel, will be taken away from us. Parking and traffic is another concern. There is no parking there. The traffic flow will increase greatly. We are on a residential street that does calendar parking. Again, this would affect our parking for our family, getting our mail and packages delivered. Cars would be parked in front of our home all hours of the day, as there is no parking lot for public. Another concern that we have is safety and security. With more people coming and going, there could be an elevated risk of theft, vandalism, and trespassing incidents. I had heard someone say that they like this area because there is no vandalism or theft around. We feel it has been safe because there is no public area to gather directly in front of our home. Maintenance and cleanliness is another thing that we have on our minds. Who will manage the area? Waste will be generated as well as odor. Pests will also be attracted. Again, we want to be clear. This is not about resistance to the garden itself. We support the idea of a community garden, but in a more appropriate area that won't disrupt the peace and security of our home. Our children are our entire world. I want them protected as much as possible and away from strangers. Sorry, this is your turn. It will be very uncomfortable for our family to have people parked for long periods of time in front of our home, rather than just driving by. The thought of so many people we don't know around our home is uncomfortable. Will there be cell phones being used? What if my kids are in the yard and somebody takes a photo? How will you manage the people that are being able to use that space? We are simply asking that the council reconsiders whether another location might be a better alternative to serve both the goals of the garden and the safety and well-being of the surrounding residents. Thank you for listening to me tonight. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ashley, good evening.
Good evening.
Got 7 over there.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak tonight. I want to voice my concerns about that I have as a father and a resident on 6th Street Northeast. Arriving home from work on Friday, May 9th, I see a tiller being used directly across the street from my house. We were never informed of anything going on in that space, so this came as a surprise to me that it's such a large area being tilled up. I felt very disrespected as a generous taxpayer of our city to come home to this. I am curious how the spot came about and why the decision was made and put in community garden in a residential area directly across from my family residence. Once again, we were never informed that this would be happening. I am not against the community garden. What I am asking is for city to reconsider another location that is more suitable for the community garden. Somewhere that is parking available, security, and less risk to the residents of our community in residential areas. Our street is calendar parking, therefore the parked cars in front of our home mailbox throughout the season daily. My role as a father is taken seriously. I feel for the safety of my family with strangers coming from who knows where. The strangers, I believe, will now gain access to my everyday life, our everyday lives. Our children play outside daily. We are very active. Outdoor family. I don't feel comfortable knowing that who the people are to be lurking around my home and my property. What if a photo was taken and our children are in the photo or our house? This is a private life. We want to make it humane for our children's safety and privacy. I would like to graciously ask the city would reconsider looking into other options that are more public. For example, near the south side of the lake where there once was a community garden when we were young. Or what about the fire hall, the police station, the Iron Man statue? Both places have public parking and water access. And I just wanted to add this in here. I didn't put it on there. Only a small fraction of the work has started. So it's not the end of the world to move it if it was considered to be moved. Just wanted to throw that out. I want to end by saying that I'm not against the community garden itself. I support the committee for their efforts, but I'm asking to please consider another location more suitable for our community. If at possible, we are respectfully asking that you add that to your next working agenda to consider relocation. Thank you for your time and consideration. Matt Slade.
Thank you, Matt. Just a quick, I'm not going to go deeply into this. Public participation is just so you feel that you have the right to come and be heard and not to be arguing with anyone.
Yeah.
I just want to say that I know the committee did check out a number of different areas. Water obviously was, like you pointed out, was a factor. Location and like amenities, and obviously anyone that's used to not having anything across their street, now having something across your street, kind of the change is difficult. We even had an individual that had a small picnic area that's put around the lake. Was not there before. Change was very tough. So that being city property, it's a low impact kind of area. The amenities that can be utilized for a family member visiting their elder parent, their grandparent at the nursing home, something to go outside. Obviously, it's not for them to be utilizing, but just something for them to experience while they have some time. That's kind of what garnered that area.
Can I add to that?
Sure.
So the lady that complained about the picnic area, that's on the lake walk. So that's the lake. You know what I mean? That's, people are walking there, it's a lake walk. So that, I couldn't consider that a residential area.
Right. No, I have no issue with discussing this at our next working session. But again, too, when I'm looking at this, and just imagine if that area somebody came in or Heritage Manor has to buy that property from the city, and now a building goes up there. And now you got something that's now blocking your view. So the small impact, and usually when something hits abruptly, and it's like, okay, now I have an initial reaction to this, but so when we do have the working session, I would like you guys to come back and be part of that conversation and discussion, so we can hopefully build on there and hopefully either alleviate concerns or find a better suitable area.
Can I add that if that does go up to sale, I'll buy it. I'm great directly.
Yeah,
If the city needs money,
But that's not what we're looking for, but we are trying to
But
find
you know what I'm
it.
saying, it does go for
Yeah.
50% heritage by it, well, yeah, the residents, you know, right across
Right.
the front house first, right?
Usually with the city property, we're hoping somebody builds, because that's what, builds our tax base too. So, I mean, we wouldn't want to sell it to somebody that's gonna leave it a piece of land too, so. But again, there's no interest in selling, we've never talked about
Your
that. but-
business, good thing to make
So,
money.
and
Right.
we bring in business. So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Council reports, start with Councilor Halverson, good evening.
Good evening. Attended the local board of appeals equalization, our working session, redhead committee meeting, and was also the head for spring cleanup. That's all I have.
Thank you, Marty. Councilor Barth.
I just have a small report from the fire meeting. The fire department had 9 calls for the month of April, which they're all pretty glad for. Full month. They had 2 anniversaries this last meeting. Stephanie Holla with 19 years and Shea Temple with 3 years. And also the fire department is looking at making a scholarship or 2 for firefighter kids. That's it.
Thank you. And they've been busy too, but I'll let Chief talk about that. Councilor Baki.
Good evening. I didn't bring a written report with me, so I just highlight a couple of things. I was lucky enough to be part of the police chief interviews. Obviously, our police chief is here tonight, and congratulations again. But that was an exciting time for me. I am on the Park and Rec Director Committee, which is going well. And then the last thing I'll end on is just that Friday for the community. Don't forget that the Chamber Pub Crawl is this Friday, and it does now include Buell. So there will be transportation from Chisholm to Buell. Billy's and the Hideaway are now part of the chamber. So
So the transportation.
there you go. Sober
Really?
transportation. Yes,
Really? Is it free?
it is free.
There we go.
Thank you, Travis. Councilor Felton, good evening.
Good evening. On April 29th, I attended the working session meeting. On May 13th, I attended the library board meeting. And then this Saturday, May 17th, is Honor the Students Powwow at Minnesota Discovery Center. The doors open, it's free to the public at 12 o'clock, and 1 p.m. is grand entry. And it's sponsored by the Hibbing and Chisholm Indian Education. And then on May 22nd is Beyond the Yellow Ribbon. They're hosting a Veterans Resource Fair at the Minnesota North Hibbing Community College from 12 to 4. And there's going to be 33 providers there, and including the Chisholm and Hibbing Library, who are going to working together to have a booth there for the veterans. So, thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Hall was not here this evening. He is actually participating in his graduation from the paramedic program. So congratulations, Jed. And he did ask me to read a small report for him, just saying that he attended the Rams meeting last month, where they heard a presentation from the Iron Range Brownfields Committee, and they also heard a legislative update from the Costin Group. And he also attended the Public Utilities Commission and Central Iron Range Sanitary Sewer District meetings. And Jed has also attended the meeting and application process for a future Park and Rec Director, and and also was part of the interview process this past week. So thank you, Jed. Myself, so I was at the Range Mayor's meeting on the 7th. Little small update there. The current Senate bill that looks to be going through looks to decrease our LGA by about 3%. The Community Protection Assistance, I believe it is the CPA, that looked to be going down 2% or something like that. So there's funding that's looking to be leaving. Last I heard, it's not finalized, not approved, so it's still open. So I would suggest that we email our representatives, our senators. We push for a bonding bill for the fall, and we ask that they do what they can to leave the LGA and the CPA alone. Other than that, then we also had an EDA meeting on the 7th. We actually met down in the old Iron Range Iron Kettle building, kind of looked that over and discussed a future study as far as, what we could be planning for with that, building, and then with the layout, and hopefully with the lane diet that we should be looking for, what makes the most sense with the area. And that's all I have. Ambulance director. Evening. Fire chief. Now you have to. Yeah. Jason, good evening.
Good evening, council, mayor. As you said, we've had a pretty eventful, busy week. We've been trying to get resources together. We have been able to send resources and apparatus yesterday, today, and have 2 crews lined up for tomorrow also. Starting to get commitments for Friday just in case they call.
You just specified for the Wildland Fire.
Yeah, for the Camp Falls fire.
Yep.
Yeah, it's combined now. So so that's where we're at with that. Next council meeting, you'll actually see the updated DNR contract coincidentally.
Yeah.
So we will get reimbursed for the equipment and manpower we're sending up there. So
Perfect.
other than that, you guys have any other questions?
Are you interim still or full?
Interim. We're working on it. We're getting job descriptions updated and everything else. We can get everything set up perfect before we switch. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Police chief. Jim, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Council. Couple of things I just want to address. This is the first official meeting as chief, so I want to send a big thank you to the Police Commission for all their hard work and due diligence in the process. It was greatly appreciated, along with Administrator Skraba and Councilor Vaki. Again, it's an honor and a privilege to be in this position in my hometown, in a department in a city that I care for deeply. So I just wanted to thank everyone involved in the process, and of course the support of the community as well. So a couple things just recently for us. Last night, Officer Nobins and Officer Capo attended the Kids, Cops, and Cars event last night at the Memorial Building. So that's a chance for the community to engage with several law enforcement agencies. So it's a lot of fun for the kids and our officers. So we partaked in that. And that's really all I have. So if anybody doesn't have any questions, concerns.
Just 2 things.
Yeah.
One,
Go
I'd
ahead.
like to congratulate you on promotion.
Sure.
I do like the updates that the department's kind of utilizing there for letting the public know what's going on. I know
Sure.
We've had a couple big events that you guys, our department's been part of, so very
Sure.
proud. So thank you very much.
Appreciate that. Questions, concerns, anything else? All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
City Engineer Johnson. Jim, how you doing?
Doing very well, thank you, Mayor. Things are getting busy, so I wanted to give you kind of a project status update on things that the administrator is keeping us busy with, cracking the whip. First of all, on our 5th Street South infrastructure project, last year's project, we're hoping to do a project walkthrough next week to put together a punch list in order to get that project completed with that final lift of bituminous going on by the middle of June. With regards to our aggregate crushing, our contractor mobilized last week and started crushing this past Monday, so that is well underway as well. With regards to our 5th Street Southwest project, south of the school, they are mobilizing this week. Next week, they're anticipating installing the temporary water. And then right after Memorial Day, they'll begin the removals of the curb and gutters, sidewalks, driveways, those types of things, such that first full week in June, they will start on sanitary sewer construction in that area. So that is just about to move into high gear. Just for your information, we receive bids next Wednesday at 11:30 on our street reconditioning project, which is our 4th Street mill and overlays, 4th Street Northwest, as well as hopefully a few blocks on 7th Avenue 7th Avenue Northwest. So hopefully we'll have those bids to bring to you in 2 weeks for award as well. With regards to the Thomasoni Memorial Arch, I just received the pay application today, so in 2 weeks, you'll see pay application number 2 coming through. But basically, what's left on that project in terms of phase 1 is putting the lettering on the arch, and then there's some electrical hookups that need to be finished in order to take care of the lighting. And then they are currently working on phase 2, which they hope to have completed by the end of the year, which will involve some plaques, some benches, and an observation deck, and kind of the southeast corner of that intersection near the arch is where that'll be located. So that continues to move along. With regards to the ice arena and the curling club, we just had a project status, our weekly status update yesterday. I believe, if I'm correct, Devin and Stephanie, please, were on that call as well. But I believe the ceiling painting is done, and the underground piping work that needs to be done in the equipment room is done. So they are preparing to start on the replacement of the floors. There is some corrective actions with some clay materials in the subsoil and the curling rinks that is still being considered. They're waiting for the soil reports from Braun Intertech on that. But that is proceeding on schedule, such it'll be completed by that completion date of October 1st. And then in regards to the exterior improvements at the ice arena, which are the parking lots, the driveway be on the south side of it, as well as the access and parking area on the west side of the building. Our consultant is preparing the plans and specs. We hope to have those plans and specs to you at your next meeting, such that can be bid in June. And again, make sure we've got those improvements ready when by October 1st, with the opening plan for the ice arena and curling rink about the middle of October. So just a quick update on a few things that we've got going on around the city. So any questions that I can answer for you? Otherwise, thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Public Works, Larry? Good evening.
Evening, Mayor, Council, thank you. Few updates on everything in the agenda. So it's the big push to Memorial Weekend, and we'll be putting out benches hopefully yet this week. The flags will start to go up. So that's always like a big turning point in the city, is the flags, of course. The sweeper is just about finishing up, maybe a couple days next week, kind of watching the weather here. And then we'll switch to patching. So that'll be happening soon. Our seasonal laborers will be starting. Majority are in school this year, a little bit of a younger crowd. We do have 4 that are working right now, so that's great. You know, we just started mowing this week. We were sweeping still last week, sidewalks and stuff. So we just started mowing. The west entrance going towards Hibbing was mowed today. And we've been busy at the campgrounds. We have some repairs and upgrades at the existing campground that you reviewed and approved. And we're doing a little bit of water repair up there, as we're going to do at the cemetery. And our new campground officially goes live online at the fairgrounds and Redhead Camping. And we anticipate a sold out weekend already on June 1st weekend, which they have a bike race, about 400 riders. And I received a call already tonight. So we got our first reservation over there today. So, yeah, so very good. It's needed, and it's already being put out. So, with that, MnDOT is doing a mill and well, not a mill. They're doing an overlay on this Highway 73 from City Hall all the way down to the roundabout to try to prolong that. Then I think it's scheduled another 5 or 6 years out. And so they're going to fill in the bad potholes again, and then they will do a 1.5 inch overlay over the whole thing. So that hopefully is going to tighten it back up, seal it, keep the water out of it, and hopefully it'll last another 5 years before they actually do come in and mill and overlay. So, I know Marty's been involved. Some of you hearing about maybe bringing that down, reducing lanes, getting some of that real estate back, things like that. So there's a lot of planning that goes involved in there. So next week. Yep, it's not a mill, it's just an overlay. But yeah, next week they're planning, if the weather holds, to try to have that done by Memorial Weekend. So it's a pretty aggressive schedule. Yeah, it's about a $500,000 project. It's a fix, to try to get us through, because we all know the condition out there, so.
Perfect.
Yeah, with that, thank you.
I have a question.
Please, Jim.
For the new campsite.
Yep.
Are they gonna be part of that? Not very literate, that website?
Yep, camplife.com,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah, so thanks, Jim. Well, thank you.
Okay.
Camplife.com, we feel it's the most, one of the easiest sites out there for reservations. And what we really, really like about it is our neighboring campgrounds, Nashwauk, Gilbert, Mountain Iron. There may even be a private one on there too. They use the same site. So when you search our area, you're going to find us and our neighbors as well. So that's huge, collaboration kind of. And I think it happened almost on accident. I don't know, there wasn't a big collaboration, but it's a really nice site. Super easy. Like I said, camplife.com, you just search where you want to go and it brings up all the campgrounds in the area. So
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. Interim Parks, Trails Rec Directors.
Good evening.
You've had a lot of different hats up here.
Yeah, it's fun. I do have a little bit of an update. The Memorial Park, we had the pour in place was done this weekend. So that does take about a week. And that park should be open by next week. The splash pad won't be up and running until around Memorial, depending on the weather, but I'll have to check it out because the park looks really great. So no more rocks on the splash pad. So,
Excellent.
yeah.
Thank you. Library Supervisor, Katie, good evening.
Hi, good evening, everyone. As April mentioned, we plan on partnering with Hibbing and we'll be attending the Beyond the Yellow Ribbon Veterans Fair. It's always just a good opportunity for community outreach and we're looking forward to that event. Other than that, we are just gearing up for the summer. We have a pretty packed schedule of programming coming up with the summer reading program starting on Monday, June 2nd. Some more information to come on that as we get a little closer. Lastly, I also just wanted to inform the council of the news of an executive order that was issued on March 14th that called for the elimination of the Institute of Museum and Library Services. This is the nation's only federal agency for American libraries. And while you're aware, the majority of our funding stream is through the city. This order does have the potential to have a trickle-down effect that could really impact Chisholm and the surrounding libraries. Really at this point, there's a lot more questions than answers. One of my bigger concerns I see at the moment is the potential impact on our Minnesota statewide interlibrary loan program. It's largely federally funded, and it's a catalog that houses over 14 million items that are currently available to Chisholm patrons. And this is something we rely on very heavily at the Chisholm Library, like on a daily basis. We use this catalog. We also receive our wired and internet connection through an E-rate program that is also 70% federally funded. So there's definitely some streams of funding that we rely on, but at this point, there's just a lot of different scenarios that could play out, and it's just hard to know how all this is going to play out. But in the meantime, we're not seeing any immediate changes, and the services are continuing both on a local level and a regional level. But just to end, I do want to say that we really appreciate the patrons that have reached out and offered their support where they could, and also the staff from the Arrowhead Library System. That's really just helped us stay informed in kind of a turbulent moment for libraries. So as information continues to unfold, I'll do my best to keep everyone updated.
Great.
Okay.
City Attorney, Ryan?
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening. No formal report, but I am happy to field questions.
Clerk Treasurer Devin.
No formal report.
City Administrator Stephanie.
No report.
Okay, Council, moving on. Look for approval and support for the consent agenda, which consists of the list of bills, communication, minutes of previous city council meetings, payroll, and overtime.
Motion.
Thank you, Jim.
Second.
Thank you, Marty. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Any unfinished business? Moving on to new business. Ambulance Director, Tiffany.
Good evening, everyone. I just have the one thing on the agenda, at the risk of sounding a little bit like a broken record. I am requesting we switch our billing companies from what we're currently utilizing to ECP billing.
Okay. So, also you have a note in your packet here. It's been leadership change, which has increased our price for the service, and our staff and administrator don't see a need to pay that. I look for a motion support to approve the requested change for billing companies.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Can I just say something?
Sure.
I think you did a great job researching this new billing system. I was looking through your agreements that you made. And we are saving a whole bunch of money at $500 startup fee and 2% less.
Yep.
So.
And I did try to do my best for due diligence. I contacted not only the people that they gave us as references, but also some other people that share our medical protocol directors that are also utilizing this particular service. Also, ECP bills under, they use the same billing program as we use to write our reports. So it's a much more seamless program.
Great, wonderful. I'll make a motion to approve that.
Make that motion?
Yes.
Thank you, April.
Support.
Thank you, Travis. Any further discussion?
I just have one question. Is there any, are we gonna cross our T's, dot our I's with the hometown? Is there any?
Yeah, so we'll absolutely make sure that Brian's involved in all of this, but Hometown did send us an email stating that they are raising their rates. And if we do not want to re-sign the contract, they'll work with us for 60 days while we move to a different company.
Great.
It's a small typo on page 1B. Page 1B down the address.
Yeah, there was the old address. I see that they say they have Wisconsin there. We definitely, due to the time frame in which we were given by Hometown that we need to reply by, I did have to ask ECP to rush their quote. So we will note that. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yep.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jim, welcome back.
Thank you, Mayor. Members of the council, if you'll turn to page 40 first, we'll be looking at pay application number 5 on our ice arena and curling club project on the interior work, refrigeration systems and so forth. And I'll go over this one. This was late coming in last month, so it is for work that was completed in March, and after this one, we'll take a look at pay application number 6, which is work that was done primarily during April. As you look on page 40 at the left hand side, you see the description of the work items or tasks involved in this project. And as you move to the right, you see the value of each of those tasks. And then as you get over to columns D and E, you'll see work that was completed in the past pay applications under column D, and then under E is that work that was completed during March of this year, primarily in the refrigeration system and in the dehumidification in both facilities. And then as you move to the right, under columns G, you see the total work completed to date, and then you see the percent of the work done to the contract amount. That contract amount is again that which is over under the schedule value. So you see primarily the engineering and project management and so forth are at 100%, and you see the percentage of the work completed in those other tasks. So, and then in column H, the balance to finish the project, and all of these numbers that you see down in the grand total at the bottom we'll review as we go back to the previous page. And then finally, in the last column, you see the retainage for each of those tasks, which then totals $50,197.53. So looking or using those numbers as a reference at the bottom of each column, if you'll turn back to page 39, you'll see the original contract sum of a little over $5.5 million. The total work completed to date, which we had under that column G, is $1,410,224.37. Then the retainage, you see that we just reviewed, is $50,197.53. So the total earned, less that retainage, amounts to just over $1.36 million, as you see. The previous payments amount to $805,640.09, such that the current payment due is $554,386.75. With that, I would be happy to try and answer any questions that you might have, but I would recommend approval of pay application number 5 in that amount of $554,386.75.
Motion.
Jim? Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Travis. Any further discussion or questions for Jim? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And then if you'll turn to page 43, it's really the same exercise that we just went through in terms of the numbers that are there. Probably what's important is when you get over the columns, E is work that was completed. Again, this is primarily during March. I think it ran through May 6th, if I remember correctly. And again, primarily focused on the sports arena floor as well as on the main arena painting and so as well as the curling, both floors, as well as the painting, as well are the major work items that total $826,595.35. You're looking under that second column of column G. This represents about a little over 40%. Of the contract amount has been completed. And then you see the retainage in that last column totals a little over $91,500. And then if you'll turn back to page 42, through that same exercise, the same original contract amount of over $5.5 million. The work completed now is a little over $2,236,000, almost $2,237,000. That retainage for the work completed of $91,527.31, such that less the previous payments, such that the current payment due is $785,265.57. I would be happy to try and answer any questions that you might have, but would recommend payment in that amount. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Council, unless there's any questions? For a motion support to approve the application number 6.
Make motion.
Thank you, Marty.
Support.
Thank you, Jim. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And Mayor, if you would move to page 44, and in the following pages, you see the proposal that we solicited and received from Braun Intertech in Hibbing to conduct soil borings. What we're asking for, or what you see in the proposal, are 7 borings to a depth of 5 feet for the exterior improvements that we are proposing at the curling club, the ice arena, and the parking lot, the driveways, parking areas, as well as the equipment pad. And at the same time, Larry needed borings for the proposed building site locations on our new public works site there at Southwest 6th Street at Central Avenue, 5 borings to a depth of 20 feet. Before you then is the proposal to do those for a total sum of $13,530 with the breakdown, as you see on page 44, of $7,685 at the public works sites for those 5 borings and $5,845 for the 7 borings proposed at the ice arena site. With that, I would be happy to answer any questions, but would recommend approval of this proposal in the amount of $13,530. Thank you.
I have a question, Jim.
Certainly.
And, or Larry. Did I not do a locate for 5 bores at the new garage?
I don't know, Jim. They ordered that. We didn't order that.
Oh, so that's not this 5 then?
It probably is, Jim. I'm guessing at the building site, that would have been Braun that would have called for
I
the
know I did a locate.
utility local.
Yeah.
Yes, that would be, I'm sure that would be them,
Okay.
Jim,
All right.
because they would be responsible for calling for the Gopher State 1
Yep.
locates. Did that just come in today?
No,
Well done it.
Oh, the borings are done, Larry?
Like a half ago or 2.
Excellent.
Yeah.
We were hoping they were going to be done this week because we had ordered, I had asked them to put this on the schedule before we even got the proposals because we are waiting to prepare the plans and specs specifically at the ice arena.
Did they do the ice arena too?
That I don't. I seen them Monday.
Okay.
So they're well gone, I think. I seen them Monday afternoon, so I feel like it doesn't take them long.
No.
So I feel like they're way gone. I have a feeling they would have done that.
I think so. I think in the proposal here, if I remember right, they proposed to have this done in 2 days, all 12 borings. So
Just because I'm curious, Larry.
Yeah.
How come yours have to go 20 feet now?
Maybe it has to do with the weight of the building or something. I really don't know.
So the foundation is done.
yes.
Yeah.
Need to go deeper because there's no.
Because it's just parking lot for the one.
That's
No. I just want to say thank you for having Braun Intertech put this together. It helped me really understand a lot of this because sometimes I don't. And the soil borings or whatever, the readings, it did help. I just wanted to let people know the issues with excavation because we have big boulders in town. If there's what they said, consolidation settlement, or if there's groundwater.
Mhm.
So
It all has an
there's a
impact.
reason why we have to do this. So I appreciate the details. All the details.
When we get the geotechnical report, we'll share it with you so you can even become.
I would love that. Thank you.
Also, no other questions. I'd look for a motion and support to approve the agreement with Braun Intertech in the amount of $13,530.
Motion.
Thank you, Jim.
Second.
Thank you, April. Any further discussion? I heard her first.
Oh, I didn't hear it all.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
And then if you'll turn to page 55, what you have before you is change order number 1 on our 5th Street Southwest project. And as I state in my request for council action, and as you see then on page 56 as well, there was just a discrepancy, is quite frankly what it amounted to, that the specifications for the bidding process on this project specified their thinner wall, what we call SDR 35 sanitary sewer, but we have not accepted that as a standard because Roto-Rooter goes through those walls very, very quickly and fast. And what showed up in the construction plan sheets per the construction details specific for Chisholm was the thicker wall, what we call SDR 26. And we were able to verify through the supplier as well as through the contractor that they did in fact bid SDR 35. We want the SDR 26. And what they shared with us was the actual cost difference of the pipe, such that if you look on page 56 down towards the bottom, you'll see the base, what the bid item is, what the lineal feet were as bid, and what that cost difference is in each of those 6 bid items. I show you on page 55 in my request what the unit price was as bid and what the unit price was per this change order, which accounts for that cost difference in each one of those items. And that additional cost is $8,476. If we had caught this discrepancy, the time of bidding, this would have been an actual cost increased anyway. So it's really a change in the actual construction cost contract that we need to go through a change order process to verify. With that, I'd be happy to try and answer any questions that you might have, but I would recommend approval of change order number 1 in the amount of $8,476.
I have a question, Jim.
Sure.
When this all started, you requested the SDR 26 and they didn't price that, or?
It shows up on our construction plans, Jim. There's the standard detail plates that are specific for Chisholm, and in the plans they had SDR 26 shown and specified. But in the bid documents and in the manual itself, they had not altered that. And when you go back to the general specifications for sanitary sewer, what it was specifying there was SDR 35, and in the bid form itself, it did not specify either one. What they bid was SDR 35. We want SDR 26.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, April.
I'll second.
Marty? Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Katie, welcome back.
All right, hello. So on pages 58 through 70 of your packet, we've got 3 separate bids to address the water damage in the basement of the library that was due to the flooding that occurred back in June of 24. And just to start with like a little bit of an overview, the first 2 bids that are provided are repairs for the basement, and then the third bid is actually mitigation repairs that would include some trenching and a concrete pour to help remove some of the standing water away from the library. So in the future, we would hope that this wouldn't happen again. And let's see. Oh, and another thing to mention, so I am pleased to report that our insurance company is willing to cover $33,542 of the basement repair, and then FEMA is willing to cover the $2,600 of the mitigation piece of the repair. So back to, I guess we'll address the first 2 bids for the repair of the basement. Again, insurance is willing to cover the $33,542 if we decided tonight to go with the lowest bid. That came in at $35,922. So there is $2,380 that would be the city's responsibility. And at this moment, the library budget is not able to absorb those costs. So that is something that would have to come out of a contingency fund. But I do believe that this is important to repair and something that I'm hoping with your support that we can move forward with. So my request would be to approve the low bid by Northworks LLC in the amount of $35,922.66.
I'm just gonna add to that.
Yeah.
I did let Katie know that I do have the gap amount in the contingency, and I support utilizing the police budget.
Awesome.
Oh, right there. Okay.
Got it? Okay.
And also look for a motion support. Move forward with the accept the lowest bid from Northworks.
Make one.
Thank you, Marty. Thank you, Travis. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, thank you. And then the second piece again is the mitigation repairs that came in at $5,200, and FEMA has pledged to cover up to 50% of the cost with their mitigation repairs. So looking for your approval to move forward with the quote from Rippon and Construction.
Council. Same with the last one, Stephanie's got the money in the contingency fund, so.
Yep.
Motion. Thank you, Jim.
Second.
Thank you, April. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Stephanie.
Good evening. First item I have on the agenda is resolution number 0525-45, accepting grant from CCF for phase 1 of the Longyear Lake project. Thank you to CCF. We were awarded $60,000 for that project, which is huge. This is, as you recall, Council, we have a mini pump track that's already funded through IRRR. This funding will go towards the pickleball and basketball court and other amenities within that park. We are still waiting on DNR grant for final funding. So this project will not start till next summer. But we're just looking at just for the resolution to accept those funds.
Council? For motion to approve resolution 0525-45.
Motion.
Thank you, Jim. Support for that?
Second.
Thank you, Marty. Any further discussion?
Brian, I'm on this committee, so I have to take it. You were on the committee that awarded the.
Yeah.
You should say.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstaining?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next item I have on the agenda is to approve a temporary recreational trail access and construction permit from St. Louis County. This is for Redhead Mountain Bike Park, bringing trail systems into the community. We've been working, the Redhead Mountain Bike Park committee has been working on getting different permitting to be able to fulfill that need to get the trailers.
Also look for a motion support.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Travis.
Support.
Thank you, Jim. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
The next item, Hunter, I don't know if you want to come up or not. We're on to the, just want to think there's questions. We did bid our Redhead Trail Head improvements. Bar Engineering was the engineer on this project. Andre is here with us today from Bar Engineering. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
The low bid on the project was Lugalis Inc. in the amount of, I'm sorry, 6,900. It's not the amount.
No, that was the bid amount, and then if you scroll down, then, so the summary is, yeah, totally. You got scared for a second.
I did. I was like, that's not right. $541,526. We did make a couple adjustments to stay within budget from that original bid amount.
So we go with the balance, right?
Lugalis Inc. Yep, they did a little bit on the budget.
Correct.
Council, if there's any questions, I'll look for a motion and support to approve the trailhead bid award.
I'll make the motion with the note that we are the city of Chisholm, not the city of Pitt.
Oh boy. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Page
85.
On page 85.
We were going super fast. I apologize.
Shame.
I wasn't gonna go that far.
I am feeling the shame.
Jim, how do you feel about that, huh? It's bellowing
When I
on.
got home and I said, oh, I better keep my mouth shut about that. I really thought it was.
I apologize profusely.
Send the bill over there.
Totally. Right? I'm on planning commission.
Correction.
in Duluth, and we had shame last night too at planning commission. So the shame is real today.
It's the heat. Don't blame the heat. We're not used to it.
That's right.
Right.
Is there support?
Support.
Thank you, April. Any further discussion?
One question, there was other things we discussed at the committee, but that was more related to the other two ballots, right? And that's separate.
That's correct. Yep, that's correct. And we didn't have that. I was going to say we didn't have that. I think that'll come on a separate change or separate order.
Thank you.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
The next item we have on the agenda is we have a agreement with American Ramp Company, so we have a change order on that. Basically what that is doing is on page 95 of your packet. It's adding the mountain bike skills course, pump track, drainage, and they will also be doing some artificial turf installation. So this amount, $265,641, is the change order recommendation for approval. These two contracts are staying within budget, which we have LCCMR and IRRR grant funding for these projects.
Thank you.
I just also want to add, at the time when we initially had approved the American Ramp Company, it was unclear at that time if these items were going to be performed by them or somebody else. So that's why this change order is coming into place, because they will be going.
That's correct. Yep. And it was just rejiggering and moving from what would have been Bugalis Inc.'s award into American Ramp, and it's just going to be cleaner so that, I apologize. So it'll be cleaner to have American Ramp do all the work within their purview, and it's actually costs. I mean, basically it balances itself out as far as cost goes. So it wasn't a cost change.
I have a question. So the money, the LCR, whatever you said, you say there's money in there for that. Is there enough money in there to cover this whole thing? Okay.
The combination of IRRR and LCCMR.
Okay.
Yes, I made that very clear to our engineers that we cannot go over budget.
We actually found, I think, another $9,000 because I think the cost that American Ramp had given us originally was $640,000 for the pump track, and we got a new cost from them prior to the change order for $631,000 for that item. So I just went cha-ching. I just made some money for you guys.
Good job.
So I might get out of the shame soon.
One step.
I'll keep working.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you.
Council, I would look for a motion and support for the approval of the contract change order.
Make the motion.
Thank you, April.
Of course.
Thank you, Travis. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
All right, council, first thing we have a donation request for the all-night grad party. See, it's in your packet here. Staff has not found any records the city has donated prior, but according to Mr. Rudolph, some of the larger businesses have donated 500 to 1,000 donations to other organizations in 2025. You have a list here of what we have, what we have done. I just want to be just at least, upfront when we talk about this stuff. These are things that, if our trend is downward as far as the gambling intake, this is one of those that is going to come yearly. So whatever we do set, it's going to be something that we should be probably looking at getting ready to address every year forward. I reckon that would be $250. $250 match the skating club donation. I think that's fair. Any other input on that? We have a motion
For the local school, so I would like to propose a $1,000 donation from the city.
I'd be leaning more. I was thinking myself about $100. It's an all-night grad party. You're throwing bags. You're having fun in games. You're showing up in your PJs. We got some sodas and some pizzas.
I know.
Unless we're handing out.
They started this year after I graduated, so.
Yeah. My only fear of going with 1,000 is our budget's going down and down, and next year we're gonna have to really start cutting it.
If we average them all to 400 or 500, so I'd say about 500.
Yes, I agree. 500 is good for an average.
We have a motion.
Make a motion for 500.
Second.
Thank you, Marty. Thank you, April. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next up, the letter acknowledging sufficient public notification for the treatment of the sponging moth. Who exactly are we just accepting the letter, acknowledging this?
Our awareness for the ingredients. We can't do it unless the city has agreed to it.
My council, they came and gave us a nice presentation a meeting or so ago. Definitely something that we're, obviously a dire situation if you don't actually start to stop the spread. There's not really much you can do to work your way backwards, but you can stop the advancement.
Was this cut though?
It's possible.
Awesome.
Yeah, so they're trying to get everything done, so if they do have the go-ahead or they can get it done, they can still get things done.
I will check on what the sufficient public notification is. At this point in time, the city has not notified. I don't know if that comes through the DNR, so I will check on that prior to. I believe it does too. I don't think we have to do anything directly, but I will check. I believe so too. I think so too. But it does say in here that we have notified. So just want to make sure.
So I'd look for a motion to approve the acknowledgement and with just a note, obviously, that we're going to make sure that we're checking all our boxes and making sure that sufficient public notification of the treatment project has occurred.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Travis.
Second.
Thank you, April. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, council, something that we've done for the last few years here, and I would like to continue it, is suspending the second meeting throughout the summer, June 25th, July 23rd, August 27th, by suspending the later meetings. That one gives our staff more time. Like I said, I think what Susan, were you told about 6:30 last night? I saw you leaving. So putting together these packets in our summer is actually just go time for a lot of our projects and everything that we're working on. So it gives our staff, who spends a week or so trying to put together the packet and getting all the information to us, more time to actually do their jobs and actually take advantage of the weather. And by utilizing or suspending that later meeting, if something comes up, we have the opportunity with 3-day notice to, reconvene it, so not reconvene the schedule. So if there's no other input on that, I'll look for a motion and support to suspend June 25th, July 23rd, and August 27th regular council meetings.
Motion.
Thank you, Travis.
Second.
Thank you, Marty. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Last item would be approving the fitness center policy update. So we had a couple meetings on this and it resulted in a longer sentence. So, but I think it does cover everything that everyone was concerned about. With the addition of those employees who have retired from the city of Chisholm and are receiving benefits. I look for a motion and support to approve the fitness center policy update.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, April. Support. Travis. Any further discussion?
I have a question. Yes. I agree wholeheartedly with this, but just the last part of the last sentence where it says receiving benefits. I should know if firefighters get one-time payment and they're done.
Mm-hmm.
So should that be changed?
I think the interpretation of it or the intention of it is that you retired or left the city on good terms and you received the retirement benefit to which you were entitled.
That was one question.
So yeah, okay. That's kind of how it's too. Is one for anyone that doesn't know, when you retire from the fire department, is one lump sum for your retirement that you've gained throughout your carried. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Miscellaneous, so council, we did have, some citizens who, came to, show their displeasure with the location of the community garden. I'm not sure if you want to schedule a working session with the committee, for the, community garden.
I think that would be good.
I agree.
All should.
Okay. So do we have anything coming up? Or would you like to have a working session after, our council meeting on the 21st? We don't have anything else coming up, right?
The 28th.
28th, sorry. I'm just so excited to come back.
Just put that one agenda.
Is that all right with you guys?
The working session after.
After our regular council meeting? So as long as we, keep our same timeline, we can schedule it for 6:30. I wouldn't anticipate more than, 45 minute to an hour long conversation, and just kind of feeling where it was at and then readjust it from there.
Working session.
Before that, the council that hasn't been part of it, just get a list of the other sites.
Yeah.
that were worked on.
Yeah, that's nice.
My council, I look for a motion to schedule a working session for May 28th, 6:30 p.m. Right now, the only agenda item on that would be the community garden. And if anyone has anything before the 21st, get it to Susan so we can add and make sure we get proper signatures.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
So we would invite the community garden members and neighbors.
Yep.
The neighbors, all of the neighbors.
Yeah.
So would you have to send out notification to all the neighbors on that street?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, there's not that many.
Okay. Perfect.
Thanks for that motion.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Travis. Support. Thank you, Jim. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. If there's no other miscellaneous, I would look for a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Thank you, Jim.
Or.
Thank you, Travis. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Everyone have a good night.